Hey everyone, Cali Gold here again. The reason I am making today's video for Satisfactory is that I've been playing the game ever since 1.0 launch, and I wanted to get to the end game where you turn everything in, and I'm not going to show you the cutscenes or anything like that, so there won't be any spoilers on that end. But I wanted to see what the final tier was like in Phase 5 or Phase 4. And I did the turn-ins for Phase 4, completed that, and see what's available there. The big thing are these two things, the portals, which players have been asking for a long time. There is another turn-in at the end for Phase 5. Again, that is the final cutscenes and stuff like that. And so I made sure to complete that. So I have finished all the requirements that are done for the game. I have no idea about the story with the aliens. Whatever that is, I don't know if I finished that or not. I have no idea what's going on with that. Maybe there'll be something later on. But the big thing here is I want all the tech. I want everything unlocked. Phase 5 is complete, and there's just that's another placeholder, just like Phase 4 used to be a placeholder. So I'm good to go with this save for the future if they add more content and stuff like that. So I wanted to get that out of the way. All the requirements for Phase 5, I made sure to make everything for that before consuming it for other things. So I got that out of the way. Everything is complete. So for me in Satisfactory, it's always been like a certain issue for me whereby I don't really care about decorating and making everything pretty, like pretty factories, you know what I mean? I'm not really into that kind of thing. I'm more about production and challenging my build and logistics and production. So before this, the end game for me, and as far as I'm concerned, if you're really looking for end game, before 1.0 was nuclear power, because nuclear power is a constant draw on resources, and so that challenges your production. Now the thing with nuclear power is before 1.0 and maybe even after, I don't know, you didn't really need it because there's so much power in the game that's available to you, especially if you know what you're doing with and I'm not even talking about turbo fuel, I'm just talking about going into heavy oil residue alternate recipe, into diluted fuel in the blender's recipe, alternate recipe. There's plenty of power to be had, more than you'll ever need. So nuclear was just kind of something to do. It's a great challenge. I love it. But I've always said, not only do we need a real end game, we need power sinks and stuff like that. So with 1.0, I was like, did they do anything that's going to make it to where there's an end game or something like that? Well, they kind of did, and they tied it in with the fast travel. Okay, and that's where these two things are. See, the main portal, satellite portal, they're going to consume a lot of energy. There's a lot of other stuff that's going to consume a lot of energy too in the final phases with all the weird things like dark matter and all that kind of stuff. A lot of those things, by the way, are just a lot of them are going to be used just for those final turn-ins. But keep those factories around for sure for the future. I can already see DLC in the future coming. So the big thing here was for me, is there another end game besides nuclear power? And so that's I finally discovered that. So we've got these portals. We've got a main portal and satellite portal, which is tech that gets unlocked very late into the game. Notice I am carrying the golden cup, which is available in the shop after you do complete the final turn-in. I won't tell you anything else that happens after that. So look at this. Here is the main portal. Okay, here is one main portal. Now, if you look at it, it's got an input. So you can manifold these things. Okay, so it's got an input. It also needs a power connection. Okay, let's hook up the power connection like this. So it needs power and it needs fuel. The kind of fuel it uses is a Singularity cell. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you the place where I'm making these right now. Okay, I'm going to show you, and I'll show you all the inputs and stuff like that, especially the dark matter crystals. I'll show you how I make those. So Singularity cells are going to be used to power this. And I just clicked E on this. Okay, each main can only be hooked up to one satellite. So that's it. It's a 1-to-1. Okay, so we got power hooked up and we need the fuel from the Singularity cells. Now notice it says -- per minute. The number of Singularity cells it uses depends on the distance between the two locations. So between these two locations here, I believe this is going to consume 2 singularity cells per minute. So if I'm going to use this portal, and I'm going to show you real soon what it looks like visually, we're going to go from the Dune Desert over to the Blue Crater and back again. But when you go and you've got this powered up, the clock is ticking when these are powered up. So when you go, if you run out of singularity cells, you're going to run out, your connection's going to break, and you're going to have to hoof it back or however you're going to do it. Now, in the past, I used to just use trains to get to the different locations on the map. In fact, I already have a train station over in the Blue Crater, and normally that's how I would go over there. I'm a big user of trains in this game, okay? The other thing is, and I'm going to go ahead and run the cells in and show you, here's the thing, and I know what you're thinking. Not that. You're thinking that, oh, I'll just turn it off like when I don't need it to save singularity cells. Well, the penalty for that is this right here. It's the ramp up. So when I've got power connected, and let me hook up the singularity cells to this, and then watch what happens. You can't use it yet. Notice how it's ramping up? You have to wait. So that's your penalty for disconnecting it and saying, oh, I'll just use it when I need it. I'll just use it when I need it to save singularity cells. And no, you're going to have to wait. See, I'm waiting. And look at how the power consumption goes up. Power's easy in this game. For me, I mean, power should not be a problem at some point. Okay, we've ramped up. So what did it take? 15, 20 seconds? And look at this. It's going to consume 2 per minute. So look at the countdown here. So I am burning singularity cells as we speak right now. We are ramped up. And so like I said, it's a 1-to-1. So at my main base, I will have multiple of these depending upon where I want to fast travel to. Okay, let's go to the Blue Crater, see if this works. Let me show you how this goes. I think I just walk into here. Bloop, like that. Just walk into it. Hey, look at this. Pretty cool, right? Okay, here I am. Bring up the map. And I'm over here at the Blue Crater, right? And if I just walk into there, I go right back. Let's look here, verify. Here's got some power, making a bunch of HOR residue to make fuel somewhere else. The Blue Crater is great because it's got 2 normal oil nodes, but it also has 3 pure oil nodes. Okay, so I take full advantage of that. Making fused modular frames over here, cooling systems. We've got nitrogen gas, so I use that as well. There's 4 coal nodes, which I send over for the aluminum. Here we've got the train spiral. I've got a video on that. So here it is right here. And this one doesn't need any power. It just sits here. Okay, it just sits here. So as long as singularity cells are being burned, we are good to go. Okay, now I'm kind of new to portals. I'm telling you something that this is how I think this is how they work. I might be missing something. Maybe, I don't know. I initially was totally, when it comes to the dimensional depot, I didn't think about it at first. I was just loading stuff in my inventory here into the dimensional depot. No, what you want to do is you want to put one of these everywhere. Wherever you are making things, put one of these there and then funnel this stuff into here. Bleed off of your production so that it's constantly refreshing it. That's the beauty of dimensional depots. Okay, so there is this. Let's go back in and go back to the Dune Desert. Okay, just going to walk in. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, we are back here at the Dune Desert, and let's take a look again. We're burning 250, so it burns a lot as it's ramping up. It's going to burn a lot, and then it's going to go stable based on your distance. We're burning 2 per minute based on the distance here. So, me personally, if I'm kind of done with going to this area for a while, I'm going to turn it off. I'll just let's just power it down. And okay, so it's powered down. And so the cells are here. We can leave those feeds in, and then we're not burning through singularity cells. And so we can just put power switches here and stuff like that. So the only penalty is just a ramp up. Now, the thing is, if you're going to go over to the Blue Crater like I did, and you're going to spend a couple hours there working on stuff, in the back of your mind, you're burning singularity cells. So you need a good production of singularity cells to keep this running. If it runs out, you've burnt all your singularity cells and you're going to have to hoof it back. So let me show you how I am currently making singularity cells, and that's probably going to change in the future. This is my first foray into these portals and stuff like that. Let's look at what the inputs are. And for the Singularity cells, nuclear pasta, dark matter crystals, iron plates, concrete. If you're a seasoned player of the game, the only thing that's going to be new to you is the dark matter crystals, okay? Concrete, look at how much you need. You need, this is overclocked, so let's get rid of that. So if it's not overclocked, 200 concrete per minute, iron plates 100. Dark matter crystals 20, nuclear pasta 1. Okay, so plates and concrete, pretty straightforward. You're going to be making those anyway, but you are going to need a good supply of this stuff here coming in. I'm going to show you my real production of this in a moment. I just wanted to show you, since I'm over here in the Dune Desert, I am making dark crystals over here. I just wanted to show you how I'm making those, and those are in a train. I'm making those and then dumping them into a train station as well. And the process is kind of grew from me initially. When I unlocked MK6, I made sure to produce time crystals and the trigons. That's what you need for MK6. That's what's down here. This is the time crystals, making trigons so that I could do MK6. It's wonderful. But to make the dark matter crystals, you're going to use a particle accelerator. You need the time crystals, and then you need dark matter residue, okay? And dark matter residue is being made. I'm making it. There's many different ways to make things in this game. I'm making it from reanimated SAM. Look at how much you're getting, 100 per minute. Reanimated SAM is just a process for taking your SAM ore and making it into reanimated SAM using, I believe, constructors. Then I've got a place, I've got a pure node and a regular node, making those over somewhere and running the stuff into constructors, making reanimated SAM. It's going to a train station, and then I'm using a train to bring it over here into the train stations. And then I'm running some of it to make the ingots so that I can make trigons, and the trigons are going into train stations, but mainly I'm using it into the dimensional depot along with the time crystals, and so that I can make MK6 stuff. And then the other part is being shared on the reanimated. It's coming back and being shared over here so that I could make the dark matter crystals. Okay, converters into particle accelerators, and I'm also so the recipe I'm using is time crystals and dark matter residue, which came over here, so I can make a lot. I would recommend this so you can get 60 per minute, and then I'm just running it into a train station, and I'm bringing it over to where I'm currently producing the Singularity cells. Let's cut the video here, and then I'll be over where I'm making the Singularity cells, which is the fuel for the portals. Let me show you how I'm making those, and then we'll be done with the video, okay? I'll be back in a second. Okay, thanks guys. I'm over here where I'm making Singularity cells. Just want to make sure to let you know, when you do get this unlocked, the main portal and satellite, just roll your mouse over these, and you will get a really good tooltips here. Notice this here. All this information is giving you, they did a really good job writing this up so that you can understand how these work, okay? And of course, me, I just glance over it. I actually haven't read the whole thing. I just want to use these, man. Let me use these. Like, this was the new thing in the game. It's, like I said, I was using my trains to get to places, and this is the end game. This is the new end game. I'd say if you really want an end game now, besides nuclear power, you want to keep your portals running if you can. Okay, so this is my first foray into making Singularity cells. I'm doing it over here in this kind of makeshift stuff I was doing. I was making a bunch of elevator parts over here. So let's look at these inputs again. I showed you the dark matter crystals. Those are coming in via train over here to this part of the Dune Desert. And then we got plates coming in on train, concrete coming in on train. Those are my first nodes that I processed over there in the Dune Desert area. So the only other thing is the nuclear pasta, which I'm making locally over here. Just got a couple of them running here. You're going to need a lot of copper ingots to make the copper powder and stuff like that. And then you need pressure conversion cubes, of course, with fused modular frames plus radio control units. It's a very small amount needed. So I'm only making a small amount of nuclear pasta here, but it's more than enough. The big draw over here is going to be the concrete probably, but I'm going to make these Singularity cells and I'm going to stack the hell out of them. So I got two of these guys making them. They're going down into here, got a bunch of storage containers, and then they're coming here into a platform. Ooh, nice. Look at how many I'm making. That's nice. I've got them going to a train station here, so I can access them from anywhere. Just send a train over here to pick them up. Notice what you can do here. You can stack train stations together. Train station, store, freight platform, train station, freight platform. You can string those together if you want. So that's what I've done here. These are fuse modular frames coming in. So here's the output. Just going to put them there and keep stacking them. So I want to show you this right here. Notice what I've done. Normally these manufacturers with these inputs and no overclocking would produce 10 per minute, but here's a great use of your summer sloops. Okay, I think all the tech for this is unlocked in the MAM. What a great use for this. So I just saved my sloops. And these two manufacturers, I loaded it fully with the sloops. So I'm doubling the output from 10 to 20. It doesn't use any more inputs, and it just uses more power. So we're just using a lot more power. But like I said, power is easy to get in this game, especially when you get to a certain point where you're kind of like, okay, I know what to do now with power, right? And I don't even have nuclear yet on this build. It's just diluted fuel out of blenders for the with oil as the input to make HOR. So I haven't even gone into nuclear yet. Before nuclear, I usually like to have around 50,000 megawatts of power. I'm at 53 right now. Before I go nuclear, usually I did do the power boost, the 10% one. I don't know if there's any other things you can do on that. But to me, power is just so easy. And then I always overmake power. I have never even crossed 30,000 yet on usage. And I'm fully like all the aluminum, I'm full blown on that. Over in the swamp now. So, I mean, eventually I will want more power. I will need more power. But for now, this is good. This is enough to get me to get started on nuclear. But before nuclear, I wanted to get those, get everything done, because I saved nuclear for last, because this is the most beautiful thing there is. It's the true test of production. But like I said on the beginning of the video, we now have something else to work on that draws on production, and that would be your portals. If you want to have multiple of them to different locations and you don't want that big ramp up cost, you could get to a situation where you can consistently keep them running with Singularity cells, use a manifold to keep running them in. I will eventually have enough for that. I think initially I'll probably just pay the ramp up cost and use just stack a bunch of Singularity cells, because you're going to be burning them when you're overworking in those areas. So I want to make sure I got a good stack, and I'm only going to go to areas that I'm really working in. The North Ocean is where I'm going to be doing nuclear. Sorry guys, I know the video is long, but I haven't made a video in a long time, so I kind of miss streaming. I miss making videos, and so that's why it's kind of long. Here's the North Ocean over here. This is where nuclear is going to go, and so I'll definitely be putting portal over to here from my main base, and I'll be spending a lot of time there. So by then, I hope I have a good production of Singularity cells for that. We'll see how it all goes in the future. I still, I'll have train system running around the entire map. I might. And then I could move stuff on my train too, in addition to using the dimensional depots. So I'm still going to use trains. I think, you know what I mean? I still use trains to move around the map. You can get there pretty quick. But the portals are great. It's some people have been asking for, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But I want to show you guys this, and why I'm so interested in it, because I consider it an endgame now, because it's a draw on production, like a consistent draw on production. So that's the endgame I'm looking for. Okay, so that's it for I'll make more videos in the future for things that I find of interest, and things that I think that can help people, especially new players. There's a bunch of new players coming in, plus the game is coming to the consoles, and I'm so happy for the console players, console gamers, because they have much fewer games than the PC players have, and they are going to absolutely love this game. Can you imagine being a couch potato and play this game and go couch co-op and all that kind of stuff? Amazing. Any new announcements in the future with DLC, I will make videos to cover those. Okay, thanks guys, have a great day.